Hello, everyone, and welcome to the unit Leading and Managing People. My name is Reena, and today our topic of discussion is understanding the key elements of leadership and management. This unit aims to help you develop knowledge and understanding of the concepts, principles, and skills that are needed to lead and manage people. Let's take a look at the learning outcomes. We are looking to cover two assessment criteria, that is 1.1 and 1.2. As you can see here, 1.1 requires us to explain the difference between management and leadership, making reference to the key skills and qualities of effective leaders and managers. And AC 1.2 require you to outline the difference between delegation and abdication of responsibility. Let's take a look. Now here, if you see, what we are intending to cover in this LO, we are going to see the key elements of becoming an effective leader. What are the elements of management? Who is the father of management? The key skills and qualities of effective leadership and managers. The difference between delegation and abdication of responsibility. Difference between management and leadership. Here is a short video on the same topic for you to familiarize yourself with the concept of leadership and management. Let us deep dive into the most commonly used term in the business environment, leadership and management. Now, as you know, an organization is led by two people. One, a leader, whose job is to set the vision or the goal of the organization. And then we have a manager who makes the path to reach those goals with the help of the other employees. Leadership is the process of driving constructive, non-incremental change through meticulous planning and strategy. Other crucial components of leadership are workforce empowerment and adaptive decision-making. To put it simply, a leader is someone who always takes the initiatives and invests a great effort in accomplishing the organizational vision. Whereas in comparison to this, management is all about completing pre-planned tasks with the support of employees. Manager is responsible for completing the four important functions of management, that is planning, organizing, leading, and controlling the resources, including your human resources. Now let's start with AC 1.1. AC 1.1 requires you to explain the difference between management and leadership, referring to the key skills and qualities of effective leaders and managers. As we have discussed above, an organization is led by two people. Now, let's look at the differences between a leadership and management. The first area of difference is vision. A leader is someone who sets the vision or goals, and a manager makes the path to reach those goals with the help of employees. These terms are often used interchangeably, but they involve distinct roles and responsibilities of each of these people within an organization. And both are equally crucial for organizational success, but they do involve different sets of skills and qualities. Leadership is about inspiring and motivating people toward a vision or goal. Leader asks the question of what and why, whereas a manager is focused on the questions of how and when. So you can see that the broader framework question is asked by the leader as to what and how and why, and the manager focuses on simpler questions of dividing it into steps and finding the answers to how and when. Here you can see the differences between leadership and management. If you can see closely, leaders influence and guide individuals and teams to achieve higher levels of performance. In comparison, management is primarily focused on overseeing and coordinating tasks to achieve those specific goals. Managers are the ones who ensure that the organizational processes run smoothly and efficiently. Whereas the main focus of leadership is on people and vision, management focuses on processes and efficiency. A simple example of a leader will be a CEO who's setting a strategic vision for the company, or a team leader inspiring a group of people to accomplish or exceed their targets. Whereas in comparison to this, A project manager is someone who focuses on ensuring that a project is completed on time and within the set budget. Leadership uses intrinsic motivators such as recognition, empowerment, and personal growth, whereas management relies on extrinsic motivators such as rewards, penalties, and formal evaluation. The approach to leadership is transformational and motivational, whereas the approach to management is transactional and more on an administrative level. When it comes to risk-taking, leaders are willing to take risks because they have a vision to achieve some long-term goals. Whereas managers are not part of that vision directly. They are not the ones who have formulated that vision. So they are almost to some extent risk averse, and they focus on ensuring the stability. Leaders proactively seek and drive change, whereas managers, they manage change within the established framework. If we come to looking at the key skills and qualities of leaders, one thing is certain, that the leaders are visionary thinkers. Now, visionary thinking means the ability to create and articulate a clear, inspiring vision of the future. They have a long-term perspective, so they can see beyond the immediate task and they can plan for the future. They are experts in strategic planning, and then they devise strategies to achieve the vision and long-term goals. Visionary leaders are open to new ideas and they encourage creativity within their teams. Another characteristic that is synonymous with leaders is inspiration and motivation. Leaders inspire and they motivate their team. They create a sense of purpose and commitment to the organizational objective. They display genuine enthusiasm and passion for their vision, which is contagious and it spreads across the teams. They recognize and celebrate achievements, boosting morale and motivation. They are known to provide any support and resources that are needed to help the team members succeed or to achieve the organizational mission. Their success lies in the success of their team. Another crucial attribute of leader is emotional intelligence. But what is emotional intelligence? Well, emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage one's own emotions and to understand and influence the emotion of the team. So emotional intelligence is not just understanding and managing your own emotions. You should be able to empathize with others. Leaders are able to do that because they are aware of their strengths and weaknesses. And so they are in control of their emotions. Even under pressure, they have the ability to remain calm. No leader can be successful without strong communication skills, because it is essential for conveying your vision, your expectations, and the feedback clearly and effectively. Leaders communicate their vision and goals clearly and understandably to the team. They listen to their team members' ideas and concerns, making them feel heard and valued. They also have the uncanny ability to convince others to buy into their vision and then take action. But none of these characteristics will be effective if the leaders do not display integrity and ethics. They need to demonstrate honesty, ethical behavior, and consistency in their actions. They should be truthful and transparent in dealings with others, and they should take responsibility for their actions and decisions. The leader should be able to build trust through consistent and ethical behavior. Another characteristic of a leader is adaptability. It is another essential skill in leaders. The leader should be open to changes and should be able to adapt to new circumstances. And it's a vital skill for leaders. They should be able to handle the changes effectively. There should be a demonstration of their flexibility in being open to new ideas, new approaches, and there should be resilience in bouncing back from setbacks. Because at the end of the day, the vision is too broad a framework for them to remain stuck to. So there should be an element of resilience in them, that they are able to bounce back from any kind of a setbacks, and they should learn from their failures and move ahead. They should be able to show openness to feedback by welcoming feedback and using that feedback to improve the vision. If you remember at the start of this discussion, we have established that leadership is all about workforce empowerment. Now, it's the job of the leader to empower the team members, encouraging autonomy and personal growth. They believe in delegation by assigning tasks and responsibilities, thereby allowing the team members to develop their own skills. And they give autonomy by giving team members the freedom to work independently. Micromanaging is not a part of leadership. They believe in giving the full autonomy to their team members, the freedom to work independently as far as they are following the organizational vision. They support the development of teams by investing in the personal and professional growth of the team members. Leaders also believe in innovative thinking, and they encourage creativity and innovation within the team. Leaders are known for making timely and well-considered decisions that benefit the organization and its members. They also possess analytical thinking. They evaluate information and options logically. They make decisions confidently and promptly after weighing the potential outcomes and risks of decision. And last but not the least, they are the last step in conflict resolution. Leaders effectively manage and resolve conflicts within the team. They believe in building strong, positive relationships within and outside the organization through networking by developing connections with other professionals and stakeholders, and collaboration by promoting teamwork and cooperation among team members. Now, let's take a look at the key skills and qualities of managers. A manager's primary focus is meeting the organizational goals. They unfold the targeted vision into small stages, and they organize available resources to achieve the desired result. With the title comes the authority and the privilege to promote, hire, or reward employees based on their performance and behavior. Manager's vision is bound to the implementation strategies, planning, and organizing tasks to reach the objectives set out by the leaders. Now, the critical skills and qualities that are associated with managers are mostly planning and organizing. Managers need to plan activities, set goals, organize resources to achieve those goals. And this starts with strategic planning, where the managers are involved in developing long-term strategies to achieve organizational goals. Next comes the resource allocation, which is again focused on efficiently distributing the resources in terms of time, money, personnel, with an aim of maximizing the productivity. And this also includes task prioritization, which is identifying the most important tasks, because they have divided the vision into smaller subsets, smaller targets. Prioritization becomes more important because then you have to identify the most important task that needs to be done now to move on to the next step, and focusing all your resources on them. So they are the problem solvers. Managers are able to identify issues and develop solutions to keep the operation running smoothly. This involves critical thinking, creativity, resilience. They evaluate information objectively to solve problems effectively by developing innovative solutions to the challenges that are being posed to them while accomplishing the objective. And they also display resilience by persisting through obstacles and setbacks with a single-minded focus on finding the solutions. Effective managers are known for their decision-making skills. They make timely and well-informed decisions, which showcases their ability for analytical thinking in assessing complex situations. And they divide the problem into manageable parts. They can do problem analysis by identifying the root cause of the problem and generating effective solutions. They make judgments after weighing all the different options that are there in front of them, and then they make the decisions based on the available information. Now, another important aspect of management is delegation. Because the vision is of the leader, the task has come to the manager, but manager cannot accomplish the entire thing on its own. So he has to delegate the task to the right people based on their strengths and skills. This step is very crucial for productivity. So it involves providing clear guidelines and task expectations. At the same time, you should ensure that the team members are accountable for their assigned tasks. For a manager, the importance of time management skills cannot be stressed further. They should be able to prioritize tasks and manage time efficiently to meet the deadlines. Prioritization basically means distinguishing between urgent and important tasks. They have to demonstrate efficiency by completing the tasks promptly, but with minimal waste of resources. The scheduling of the work activity should be done in a planned manner to meet deadlines and avoid bottlenecks. Managers often need special technical knowledge related to their industry or particular role that they are tasked to perform, like software proficiency, wherein they should be knowledgeable with the tools and softwares that are relevant to their job, and they should be involved in continuous learning by staying updated with the latest industry trend and knowledge. They should demonstrate compliance or adherence to the rules and regulations and organizational policies. They should also have financial acumen in understanding and managing budgets, expenses, and financial resources. Since the manager's most important task is the achievement of the organizational goal, performance monitoring becomes a key requirement. They should be able to keep a track of performance metrics, and they should make adjustments as and when it is needed to stay on the target. This is an inherent quality of managers. The managers should be doing the KPI tracking by monitoring the key performance indicators. And they should be using a feedback mechanism wherein the system should be implemented in such a way for receiving and giving feedback. They should ensure that the employees are making the continuous improvement. And this can only be achieved by using the performance data to make ongoing improvements. With this discussion, it's very important to remember that both the roles, the leadership role and the management role, both of these roles are equally important. They are like two parts of the same circle. Both the roles are equally important in the context of the business environment. And this task requires associated effort. It's not that one can work in isolation with the other. This is an associative effort where both the parties have to come together and they have to perform. Okay, now let's take a look at the AC 1.2, that is outline the difference between delegation and abdication of responsibility. Delegation and abdication of responsibility, they are kind of two distinct approaches to assigning the task and responsibilities within an organization. Unless there is a good understanding of the difference between them, it is little difficult to understand how crucial it is for effective management and leadership. Now, delegation is the process of assigning the responsibility and authority. See, responsibility and authority always have to go together. When you are delegating, you are not only passing on the responsibility, but you're also giving an authority to someone else to complete that particular task or a project. But you are maintaining the accountability for the outcome for yourself. You are delegating the task, you are giving the responsibility, you are giving the authority, but whatever the accountability is related to that of the completion, that remains with you. It is a critical management skill that involves trust and empowerment. You should be able to trust the employee and you have to empower them with the resources. Now, in comparison to this, abdication of responsibility involves relinquishing the control and accountability for a task or decision without providing adequate support or guidance. That means you are just simply giving away the control as well as accountability. Here, accountability is very important because if you see in delegation, even though you are assigning the task to somebody else, you are giving them the resources to complete that task, but at the end of the day, whether the task is getting completed or not, that accountability is with us. Whereas in abdication of responsibility, it's like giving complete control and accountability to the other person. This often leads to confusion and lack of direction, and ultimately leading to the poor outcomes. Now, if you see here, these are the key differences between abdication of responsibilities and delegation. Though there are two distinct concepts in management and leadership, there are key differences in their execution and implementation. In case of delegation of responsibility, there is an internal transfer in delegation. You are delegating or you are transferring the responsibility and authority from one person to the other person. The delegator at all time remains ultimately accountable for the outcome. And even though the tasks are delegated, the delegator maintains the control and oversight, providing the guidance and support as and when it is required. Another importance of delegation is empowerment. Delegation empowers the subordinates or the staff by providing them with opportunities to develop their skill and take on new challenges. However, you have to remember that effective delegation hinges on clear communication. It requires clear communication of expectations, goals, and deadlines. There is continuous feedback loop where process is monitored and adjustments are made as and when necessary. Similarly, resource allocation is done by the delegator by providing the necessary resources and authority to complete the task. Whereas abdication of responsibility, as we were seeing, it involves avoiding or relinquishing the responsibilities without ensuring that someone else takes them on properly. It's like just giving it away. The original person distances themselves from the tasks and its outcome. And there is a complete lack of oversight in abdication. That means there is little to no oversight or control over how the responsibilities are handled once they are passed on. Abdication often leads to neglect, where tasks and responsibilities may be ignored or poorly managed because there is no clear accountability. Abdication typically lacks clear communications of expectations, and that leads to confusion and potential failure in the task execution. There is usually no feedback mechanism in place, resulting in a lack of progress monitoring and necessary adjustments. Those who find themselves with abdicated responsibilities often lack the necessary resources, authority, or information to effectively manage the task. They have just been handed over that job and the delegator has moved on. Unless and until you have provided the other person with necessary resources, authority, or information how to manage the task, how are they supposed to complete the task? So we can clearly deduce that delegation is a proactive, controlled, and communicative process where at the heart of it, it is aimed at empowering the others while maintaining accountability and oversight. In comparison, abdication is a passive, kind of an avoidant approach. And that ultimately results in a lack of accountability, oversight, and it often leads to neglected responsibilities and poor outcomes. It is very important to understand these differences so that the responsibilities are appropriately managed and outcomes are achieved successfully. Let's take a look at some of the characteristics of delegation. Now, first characteristic at the top of the hat is clear communication. Clear communication basically means in terms of clearly defining the task, what is the expected outcome, what are the deadlines, what are the necessary resources. All this should be clearly communicated by the delegator to the delegatee. This involves providing detailed instructions and ensuring at the same time that the delegatee understands their roles and responsibilities. It also involves granting the necessary authority to make the decisions and proper access to the resources that are needed to complete the task. And overall ensuring that the delegatee has what they need to succeed. Delegation often offers support, advice, and assistance when needed. So it's not that I have passed on or I have completely relinquished the control of the task to you. I'm still accountable. You can come to me for any kind of a support, advice, and assistance as and when you need for the completion of the task. This may include providing training, providing resources to help the delegate perform their duties effectively. Accountability is a major differentiating characteristic here when the delegator is accountable for the results. There's a continuous monitoring of progress and providing feedback to ensure the task is on the track. Delegation obviously involves follow-up because you have to regularly check in to review the progress, address any issues while monitoring the progress. You have to conduct a final review of the completed task to ensure that it is meeting the required standards. If you take a look, now if you take a look at the consequences of abdication of responsibility, you will see that there's a lack of clarity at the heart of the issue. This is failing to clearly define the task or expectations, or providing insufficient or maybe sometimes ambiguous instructions, which leaves the delegatee perplexed or unsure of what is required to complete the task. Another obvious characteristic of abdication is insufficient authority and insufficient resources. If you're not granting the necessary authority or resources needed to complete the task, how the task is going to be completed? You are expecting the delegatee to figure out how to get things done without proper support. There is absence of support and guidance once the task is assigned, and there's failure to provide training or resources that are necessary for the delegatee to succeed. In abdication of responsibility, there is no accountability. There is no holding the delegatee accountable for the results. The follow-up or feedback is avoided, leaving the delegatee to manage on their own. There is a clear neglect, as in you are ignoring the task after assigning it, and you're not being available to address issues or provide assistance when needed. So just to summarize everything, we tried to understand the leadership and the management. We try to understand what is delegation, what is abdication of responsibility. We saw that delegation involves empowering others with clear responsibility, authority, and support while maintaining accountability for the outcome. Whereas you have seen that abdication of responsibility, on the other hand, involves completely relinquishing the control without providing the necessary support, guidance, or accountability. This often leads to negative consequences. So this brings us to the end of LO1. I hope you have been able to follow through with the discussion. If you have any queries regarding this LO, you can reach out to us at learnerwork@ukversity.co.uk. We're always there to help you and support you. And I'll see you in the discussion of LO2. Thank you very much.